Hello, and we are in Camtasia Studio 8. This is going to be behind the scenes of the 90-second game reviews and kind of the process I do to make them. I'm going to start off with editing. So I like to use Camtasia Studio 8, which is this piece of software here, mainly because it's just basic and it's kind of basic, just kind of gives me what I need, and I've been using it for quite a while, so I kind of know my way around it and I can kind of get the most out of it. So when I edit these 90-second reviews, it's kind of separated into three parts. I have my audio here in track 2. I have the game footage here in track 1. I have any overlays I have in track 3. So here we have the Jason Brody and Vass part, and if we just watch that, we can see Vass kind of appear.
Free his friends from the leader of the island he lands on, Vass, who is also the guy.
So that's what this track's for. It kind of adds all these little overlays, such as in this section we have the tiger kind of overlay with the car, and that's what track 3 is used for. Track 4, I'll open this group up, is the kind of timer in the top left and the animations that it does. So if you've watched one of the 90-second reviews, it starts off by flying in from the left, and then this part pops out, this kind of bar, and then the name appears, which is here. And I have two layers. I have this picture here, and below it I have another picture, which is for whatever game I'm doing. So I just change that depending on what I'm reviewing. And yeah, the timer goes down and it reveals more of the image, and then once it's fully revealed, which is the end of the 90 seconds, I then go on to my conclusion. Just as a gradient wipe here, which is what this transition is, then it goes straight into showing you the kind of rating I gave it out of 10, which is, this is the bottom number, so 10. This is the top number, which is the one I change here. I could change this to 0, change it to whatever I like. I think I gave this one a 9.1, I've just forgotten. Right, anyway. And then the black, this simple rectangle, is kind of the out of part. So after that we have this little animation of the kind of, the bar pop out, sorry. And then we have the kind of ticks, which I'll go on to now. Well, I'll go on to in a sec. So in in track 5 we have the song. There's just the song. I kind of fade it in and out when I need to. And then in track 6 is the conclusion text. So here you can see we have the tick, and then I have the text that goes with the tick, and then I have another tick. And I try and sync this up with the voice the best I can when I'm editing, so just have a quick listen.
Rank is a great idea. The wildlife makes the world feel much more alive, and the story is gripping and entertaining.
So yeah, just trying to kind of link that up, and that I have to do that for each one. Once the video ends, the kind of conclusion screen ends. Oh, let me just say this first. So for Far Cry 3, I wanted to create kind of a blurry background. I mean, obviously I didn't get the kind of professional looking effect that I probably could have, but I wanted to try and hide the minimap, because if the minimap was not hidden, oh wait, it's here. If this was like that, this is what it was like before. Let me just make this smaller. You could see the minimap in the bottom left, and it looked a bit weird, and you had that. So I made that bigger to kind of hide that and just give it a bit more blur, because obviously you're stretching a 720p image to a 1080p. So it worked well. And then once the conclusion finishes, I have this little cut afterwards, just to try and keep it a bit more professional. Jason swears here, so what I do is I go into here, to the actual audio, if we zoom in on that, and I mute him for when he says the naughty word, and then at that time I put the bad Jason over it. Then it fades to black, and that's it for editing. It takes roughly This review in particular, because it was the first time me doing it, so I haven't had all I had to kind of build all this up and get the timings right. It took me about 3.5 hours to get it all kind of how I wanted it. But my Colour Symphony review, which I just opened now, which was my next review after Far Cry, I kind of keep it very similar, but obviously I still need to kind of have fun with it, kind of edit it a bit and put these overlays in. It's the same for each game, each review I do. We have the text up here, which is synced with my voice. I try and make this a bit bigger to blur it out. Songs still in track 5, the timers in track 4, and then these are the 3 that I mainly changed. This is my commentary, these are my overlays, and this is my gameplay, and that's just kind of how it is each time. I think these 2 tracks have been swapped over, but it doesn't really matter as long as the overlays work. So we have the Steam one here, and to create that effect I just went on the Steam store for it and just held my middle mouse button down and just kind of brought my mouse down a bit. I'll show you quickly how I do that. Let me just do a quick cut. So for this bit, for that effect I just told you, I pick a game, so I know the Edge should do. We'll go on Edge, and then I go on the store page. So today I go on Community Hub, and then they normally have a store page button. There it is. And I did this for Colour Symphony, and pause that, and I just click my middle mouse button down and bring my mouse in a bit, and that kind of creates that scrolling effect. And I just recorded the screen and put that over it, and then cut the first bit out and the last bit out to make it look like it's just continuously scrolling. And I was going to keep the kind of what people thought of it in, but it ended up making the clip a bit too big because there was like quite a few reviews for Colour Symphony. That's about it for editing. I render all of my reviews in 1080p, but now I'm going to go over onto Word and show you my script. So here we are on Word. Here is my kind of template that I set myself up with. So I always like to do the name, the platform, and the release date, where you can get it from and how much it costs, and the genre of the game. Then I talk a bit about what the game is about, the environment, and then I tend to do another 2 paragraphs about things specific to the game and a story part mainly. So you do it says Far Cry 3 here, but that's just because I edited the Far Cry 3 one and didn't change it, because there's no point in me really changing that if because I'm just speaking it out and no one's really usually going to see this. So for my Colour Symphony one, we have Colour Symphony is a platform and genre, release September 15th 2014 for PC, however, and then just blabbering on. And when I'm actually speaking it, these are kind of pointers, and if you go and read this, like pause it, read it, and then go into my Colour Symphony review, you'll probably find that there's quite a few parts that have either missed out or added to, and that's just me on the spot thinking of better things to say and kind of rewording what I've wrote down here, because as you can see I've spelt each wrong, and if I was just to read it as it is, I'd seem really robotic, like the game is cleverly designed and each level throws a new set of challenges. Whereas if I go I like how the game's designed, it's challenging, it throws a new set of, it kind of sounds a bit better and it works a bit more. Below on my second page I have my 6 conclusion topics, so I have my 3 good ones and then my 3 bad ones. It's simple, challenging, easy to run, and I didn't like the controls, I feel the story's forced, and it's just frustrating. And yeah, that's kind of how I do it. For my actual gameplay, what I do is I go over onto YouTube, and let me just bring YouTube up here. What I'll do is I'll type in Colour Symphony, and then I remember actually doing that. So you type in Colour Symphony game, and then here we are, watched. I had a look at 2 of these. So then you just go on it, and then as you can see, I've already whoops, sorry for that. So I look at this guy first, see what he thought of the game, to try and get an outside opinion on it. And then I went on to here, and I was like, okay, let's see if this gameplay is any good. As you can see, this is kind of the intro here to the actual video. Yeah, because this is gameplay and it's not really copyrighted to this guy's channel, and it's actually, in fact I think it is the trailer for the game on Steam. It's not actually stealing his work because, well, it's not his game, and yeah, just using the gameplay. You're allowed to use gameplay on YouTube now, so just take the gameplay off that and throw it into Camtasia, and then bang, we got ourselves a video. In terms of rendering, I'll click produce and share and do it MP4. If it has a 1080p option, I'll use that, but if it doesn't, I'll go next, AVI, next, make sure it's 1080p, next, choose where I want it to go, and then click finish, and then it'll start rendering it. Once it's finished rendering, it should look a bit like that. Obviously that's not the full render because I cut it short. I'll then go on to my channel and click upload and select the file, and then once I've selected a file, it will appear in here, and once I've put that, we've got all my videos here. I then watch them to make sure they're available in 1080p, so if we just go into Colour Symphony here, click the little cog, make sure it is in 1080p, which it is. There it is there, just make sure that's working fine. Then I jump on my WordPress and go over to add new page and add it into my enrichment and click play, and it's there, it's ready to go. And that's kind of like the production line for how I make these reviews. My Far Cry 3 one, like I said, took me about 4 hours to make. The game reviews themselves take about half an hour to 40 minutes to script. The editing then takes about 2 hours, just making sure the clips are good, making sure the audio's right, making sure all the overlays are in the right spot, and recording audio itself can take up to an hour because I make so many mistakes, and if it doesn't sound half decent or even just really good, I'll just cut it. Like, yeah, that's basically it. If I don't think the audio's good, I'll just re-record it, and I've sat there for ages sometimes just re-recording the same part, and I've got really annoyed with myself because I keep making the same mistakes, but after a while I do nail it, and then I just start editing it properly, render it up. That normally takes, because I've got quite a beefy processor, about 5-10 minutes. Then it will go into YouTube, and depending on how my internet feels, it'll take anywhere between 5 minutes to an hour. So that's basically it. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope I've kind of explained it enough for those of you that needed or wanted to know how the 90-second reviews come about. This will be put on my WordPress enrichment, and it should be at the top here. I'm going to try and get it there. And yeah, thanks for watching.